In this video, let's see another IIT JEE question which was asked in the previous year of 2002 for 1 mark, and the question is basically looking a bit lengthy, but the question is not that difficult. We know that functions is a very important topic in consideration with the competition exams, especially IIT JEE, so we cannot leave the topic. Let's see what the question has to say and let's get started with solving. First we'll read the question together. So for these questions which look lengthy, the trick is that you basically read between the lines. That means whenever you read the question, you infer what is the examiner trying to tell you and put notes for the same either on your writing pad or in your mind. And side by side also have a look at the options given to you, because these options will help you in solving the question, right? So we'll be writing the heading as solution and we'll be getting started with solving the same. The question is what? Suppose fx is equal to x plus 1 whole square. So that means I have been given fx. I also have been given the restriction on x as greater than equal to minus 1. Now if gx is the function whose graph is the reflection of the graph, so that means gx is another function that has come into picture, and it is that function whose reflection is the reflection of the graph of fx. Now these wordings will remind you of the concept that we studied earlier. We studied a concept of inverse of a function. We came to know that for a function, if the reflection is about the line y is equal to x, and if you read further, you need to understand that I have been given the reflection with respect to the line y is equal to x. So that means the examiner is talking about the inverse of a function, inverse of fx being gx, and that gx function only we have to find out. It says what is gx equal to. There are 4 options. The 4 options are namely a, b, c, d. The option number a is what? Let's read it. Option number a is minus root x minus 1. Condition on x is that x is greater than equal to 0. Option number b is 1 upon x plus 1 whole square. Condition is x greater than minus 1. Option number C is root x plus 1, condition is x greater than equal to minus 1, and last but not the least option, option number D is root x minus 1, x greater than equal to 0. So now, when we have the knowledge of the question and the options, what is left? It is left to solve. I have the function specifically given to me as fx. If I am not comfortable with fx, I will be substituting fx equal to y. So let's write it equal to y. So now y is what? It is given to me as x plus 1 whole square, x plus 1 whole square, right? Now, if y is equal to x plus 1 whole square and I do not want the whole square, I will basically do what? I will do the square root. So square root y is equal to x plus 1. Now in such cases, when you have a square root, basically it will become plus minus, right? Now, square root is always a positive quantity. And I have what? I have something called as x greater than equal to minus 1. So the minimum value of x is what? It is minus 1. If minimum minus 1 is put, minus 1 plus 1 becomes 0. So that means the value can never be negative. It has to be minimum 0. So I cannot write minus sign here. I'll have to take plus only. So I reject the minus part and I will take it as plus only. Right? You write plus, well and good. If you do not write, even then by default it is plus only. Right? So root y is equal to x plus 1. But this is not the answer. Why? Because we are supposed to find g of x. So we need something in inverse form, in x form. So what is root y? That is equal to x plus 1, and what is the value of x? From here I have root y minus 1 is equal to x, right? Root y minus 1 gives me x. What about root y minus 1 is equal to x, some other manipulation? Yes. Root y minus 1 is equal to x means I can substitute x as f inverse y. How is this done? For those who have watched my previous videos on the inverse of a function of chapter relation and function might be understanding it very well, right? So root y minus 1 is equal to f inverse y, but the question again does not deal about some things in y, rather in x. We want g of x. So we substitute wherever y, we put in place of y as x. So it becomes root x minus 1 is equal to f inverse x. The simple substitution, the replacement done. So the answer that we are going to obtain is root x minus 1 for f inverse x. And what is f inverse x? It is the inverse of fx. Inverse of fx is given to us as gx. So root x minus 1 is equal to gx, and this is my answer to the IIT JEE question asked in the year 2002. Now, root x minus 1 is which option? Let's check. Is it option number A? No, it is minus root x. So it is not the option. What about the other ones? Nowhere close to. The option is root x minus 1, which is basically option number D. So the answer to this question, which was asked in the year 2002, is option number D, which is root x minus 1.